Good evening, everyone. My name is Ashley Cornelius, and I was really honored to be able to create this piece for you all tonight. And this is called Because I Know. We've been told to watch out for wolves in poorly constructed disguises. The obvious bushy tail poking out of a grandmother's dress, the pointed claws of an unusually tall sheep, or the citrine eyes behind tiny reading glasses. We've been told it's easy to spot the bad guys, the evil, the menacing, taught to underestimate the sophistication of a wolf on a hunt, how hiding in plain sight is the easiest way to operate, until we learned wolves are not anthropomorphic concepts of the bad, are not traps of sharp, snarling fangs or darkened alleyways by shadowed figures. But instead, the wolf hides in between the teeth of a warm smile, nestles itself in the corners we rarely turn to face, making invisible those walking unchained but unable to leave. When you are expecting a monster, you can forget to look at man. Society silenced survivors long before the traffickers did, because they told us we weren't looking in the right places, when in reality, we were looking into the faces in the right places and not realizing that the dishwasher, hidden in the back of the restaurant who isn't allowed to leave or contact his family because he's told he'll get deported or go to jail, is trafficked. The trans youth kicked out of their house trying to find family and safety working in a motel just for a place to stay who never gets paid is trafficked. The migrant worker trying to pay off their debt in an attempt for a better life, working on a farm, 12-hour days, in 90-degree weather, no breaks, no water, is trafficked. The young boy forced into sexually abusive situations, afraid if he leaves, his family will be killed, is trafficked. The mother who fell in love with a man online who said he'd take care of her and her children, forces them to work for her, steals their IDs and their phones, is trafficked. This is the unmasking, the humanizing, the education, the reckoning that human trafficking impacts all people, all ages, races, genders, sexualities, class, and lived experience. That trafficking fulfills needs quicker than most governments. Trafficking is forced labor, is debt bondage, is sex. Because we now know how wolves hide themselves, we can find those stuck in their teeth, dislodge them from the lockjaw smile. We can change invisibility to deep intentionality, can fill the needs of our community so there is never space for wolves to position themselves disguised as saviors. We can notice when our intuition sparks curiosity. We can report and save a life with the hotline. You can get trained to correct the stereotypes and spread knowledge, donate and give of your heart and treasure to those in need. Support survivors. Become a conscious consumer. Commit the revolutionary act of caring for another human being. Release the voices ensnared in the throats of wolves. Allow them to share their stories. Remind those taught to be weary of wolves in cheap clothing that the wolves should be very afraid of what we know now. Thank you.